today I was just thinking about how amazing God has been helping me find all these letters. I know we have worked hard and everything, but Jesus is worthy to be exalted because He's the only one who's made it possible for me to find all these letters and not only find them, but enjoy learning about all the attributes. Jesus is so amazing and merciful, and because of that, He's worthy to be exalted. Saying that, I have a surprise for you guys. I found the next letter, the letter X. Because of that, I think we should make it exalted, because that's what Jesus should be, high and exalted. I have the perfect story for you guys, and it involves a prophet. A prophet is someone who speaks on behalf of God, telling everybody about their sins and reminding them of God's promises. One great prophet was the prophet Isaiah. He would speak to all the kings of Jerusalem. 4 major kings that he spoke to first one was King Uzziah. Uzziah wanted to obey God and do everything that God said. But over time, he became greedy and he started disobeying God. Because of that, he actually became a leper, which is a sickness, and he died after that, just because he disobeyed God. After King Uzziah, his son, King Jotham, took over. Now this king was blessed by God because he always obeyed God and listened to what not only Isaiah said, but the other prophets. When he stopped ruling and his son took place, his son's name was Ahaz. Ahaz was a very bad man. He worshipped false gods and idols and even made the people of God disobey him. When King Ahaz died, his son Hezekiah took his place. Now Hezekiah was a man of great integrity and he worshipped God. He removed all the false gods, all the idols and everything, and he was blessed by God because of it. Do you know how he was blessed by God? King Hezekiah prayed to the one true God. Now, when an enemy wanted to attack Hezekiah and Judah, the place that they stayed, he asked Isaiah to pray to God and help them win against their enemy, even though King Hezekiah's army was much weaker than their enemies. The Lord said to him, "Do not be afraid of the enemy. I will cause him to fall." And guess what? That enemy didn't even fight Hezekiah's army. They just walked away. They didn't start the fight. That's what God did. That's what God does when you worship Him. He will always be there for you. Many people didn't think about God, but Isaiah thought about Him a lot. So much so that he had a vision. A vision is kind of like a dream when you're not sleeping. He had a vision that he saw God high and lifted up, exalted. God said to him, "Who shall I send?" And Isaiah responded, "Send me, Lord." He was so eager and so willing to do whatever God wanted him to do. God said to him that he must go and tell everybody about their sins and what they were doing wrong, and that God was the only person that they should worship. Isaiah saw God in His full glory and how exalted He was. His glory was unmatched. Many years before Jesus was even born, God told Isaiah to write about how the Messiah was coming, about how, because of our sin, the one who was exalted and glorified would be humbled and step down from all of that to become a human and become a slave and die for our sins that we should have paid for. Isaiah knew that Jesus was coming and He was the Messiah. Many years later, Isaiah had another vision about how God was exalted and glorified. He saw how God was exalted and He was the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Isaiah saw that kings come and go of all nations, they do weird things, but Jesus, He is King of Kings and Lord of Lords, high and exalted. So friends, I want you to join me in whatever you do. I want you to take time and glorify God for what He has done for you, because He should be glorified and high exalted. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!